Thank you, Cathaoirleach, Locke, and I too, like previous speakers, want to compliment the Chair of the Disability Matters, Michael Moynihan, and of course I see our Vice Chair there as well, Deputy Tully, but also to the committee, and I'm very honoured to be on that committee, and of course to the team that work with this as well. There is excellent work being done, I believe, and as previous speakers have said, we are listening. We have huge challenges, and I know, in fairness to Minister Anne Rabbitte, who has always been so helpful to us, has come to every meeting, has always been there, and even today on a Thursday evening, Deputy Rabbitte is here to take our questions, which is so important, and I want to thank her for that. And Minister, I always talk about my own area because I know a lot of national issues has been covered, so I just want to give you some statistics. I have people coming into my own office, Minister, with disability allowances, and I want to speak about that and the system, and it has taught them that illness costs money. Over 14,300 people in Carlow experience at least one long-lasting condition or difficulty in census 2022. That was 23% of the county's population. And responding to the budget 2024, the Disability Federation of Ireland said it was devastating to see the sidelining of disability and the tokenism attitude to disability people in budget 2024. Minister, something that I know you are working on and I know we need to address. And also, according to the CSO 2022, 1 in 5, that's 19.7% of people unable to work due to a disability and are living in constant poverty. This also is 4 times higher than the national average of 5.3%. But I do welcome, Minister, and I know you're working with Minister Heather Humphreys too, because I know it falls with a lot of departments. I welcome that the Green Paper there is the Green Paper now on disability reform, and I know there is some consultation meetings going on at the moment. I believe there's 3 left to go ahead. But I'll just give you some figures again from my own area. In Carlow at the moment there's no OT for children, and the waiting list for this and the services is incredibly long. Speech and language and the CDNT assessments are working from referrals given in 2019. And these children and families, they can't afford to pay private for assessments. And I know, Minister, that you were bringing in, and you have done in other parts, where you would help families when they have to go private. I'm looking for an update on Carlow, if you don't mind. There are children entering mainstream in my own constituency schools this September who have never seen a therapist. And just even further, Minister, just to keep you updated, we have no CINO in Carlow at the moment, which is another huge challenge for children with disability. And we had our disability meeting yesterday, and we spoke about the local elections and the general election and the European elections. And one of the issues that was brought up was about people with a disability looking to run for elections. And Minister, with the cost of an election, and we all know ourselves from trying to get posters, leaflets, some literature done, it's very expensive, and it is putting a barrier there for people with a disability that want to run for elections. I'm just wondering, is there anything you can do to help on that? The other issue is too, I met with the Carlow Irish Wheelchair Association there during the week, and I would have got some concerns and issues, and as you said yourself, transport was the biggest issue for rural Ireland, and particularly for Carlow. And I know some of the people that spoke to me said that they found it very hard and challenging to get transport to different things, whether it's maybe to go into the service or maybe to go into town or whatever. So there is huge issues with transport. And also, when we speak about taxis, and I know in Carlow we have some taxis that are wheelchair accessibility, but we need a lot more, and we need to see what sort of funding we can do to help with that, because all taxis, I believe, should be wheelchair accessible. The other thing that came up was access. Medical cards, believe it or not, was a huge issue, and then kind of every few years having to go back and apply, and then the barriers, and that might be something you need to look at. Also footpaths. Another area that I've been working on, I know you're very much aware of this, is people that had to give up work because they wanted to mind their child and that they stayed at home and they don't qualify for the carers benefit because they're over the limit. I have huge issues with that. I believe if someone is staying at home and minding whether it be whatever disability it is, that they should get the carers allowance. And I know that, again, it's you working with the different departments. And I kind of feel that's where we're falling down, Minister. I think when we fall within all the different departments, and this is what happens here, we really do need to see more joined-up thinking. And I can only say, from your point, and I can say this honestly, you have absolutely been fully committed to supporting all the different concerns that I've brought to you. And a few months ago, and I think I said this to you, I met with some of the parents from Carlo Down syndrome, and I felt they were very disillusioned, Minister, because some of the children hadn't been assessed and they were waiting for OT or speech and language, and I feel that we really need to look at this. And, you know, I just think it's so important that we do. But this was another thing, and I think Senator Tom Clonan is gone now. At our meeting yesterday, we spoke about Leinster House here, and I'll be writing to yourself and I'll be writing to the Count Ceorla, Sean O'Farrell, and that we have actually no wet room here in Leinster House. So if we have someone that is in Leinster House with a disability that might need to have a special room, we don't have that, Minister, and we need to lead by example. And I know that I'm telling you this now today, and I know you'll give me your full support, but we as members of the Oireachtas, we need to make sure that we have a room here in Leinster House, a facility here, that if someone needs a wet room or that we have that there. So I will be writing to you, and I know that you will do your best for this. Again, Minister, I want to thank you for your hard work, and I just feel that we need to, the main thing for me is to get more staff, retention, recruitment, particularly for Carlo. We need more staffing. It's a huge issue within the services, and I'm CHO5, as you know, Minister. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Pauline Tully.